please consider subscribing to the Healthy Life at 60 channel. Your support helps us share vital health knowledge with the community. Thank you. Are you diligently taking your diabetes medication every day? Are you following an intensely restrictive diet, giving up all your favorite foods just to keep your blood sugar in check? Despite all that effort, do you still find your test results consistently higher than before? If your answer is yes, then please stop for a moment and listen closely. It's very likely you are making a critical error without even knowing it. This mistake isn't in your medication, your rice, or your fruit. It's hidden in a simple moment that everyone experiences in the morning, specifically the first hour after you wake up. This seemingly harmless time, if managed incorrectly, can completely undo all your efforts throughout the day. I have seen too many patients suffer, starving themselves until they are dizzy and frail, taking their pills precisely, yet completely confused as to why their sugar levels remain elevated. Their initial anxiety often turns into deep despair. Worse, they face suspicion from family. Dad must be cheating, or mum isn't taking her medicine on time. These words cut deep, but the real issue lies not in the patient's compliance, but in a crucial, overlooked biological factor. If you let yourself remain dehydrated and inactive first thing in the morning, and then skip breakfast out of fear of a blood sugar spike, these three seemingly simple actions will trigger your liver to release sugar drastically, causing your blood sugar to soar even before you've consumed a single calorie. I'm not saying this to frighten you. I'm sharing it because I've spent countless hours with patients, tracking their cases, and arriving at a clear conclusion. By correcting just 3 minor habits each morning, you can witness a remarkable transformation. You won't need to change your medication or live in fear of every meal. I will now explain clearly why blood sugar can rise even on an empty stomach and detail the 3 easy steps to take immediately upon waking to stabilize your blood sugar for the whole day. If this speaks to your experience, please stay, as the most important information is just about to begin. There's a very familiar occurrence that few people pay attention to, the phenomenon of high fasting blood sugar. Although the patient hasn't eaten, this is a real biological response, medically termed the dawn phenomenon. Around 3 to 5 a.m., when the body is in a state of rest, the liver begins to secrete a reserve of glucose. This is a natural, internal mechanism designed to prepare energy for the body to start a new day. In a healthy individual, insulin is immediately released to regulate this sugar, channeling it into the cells to ensure stable blood sugar. However, in people with diabetes, this process is no longer efficient. Insulin is either insufficient or doesn't work well. Consequently, the sugar released by the liver isn't absorbed correctly, leading to high blood sugar levels even without any external food intake. This is why many patients measure higher blood sugar in the morning compared to the afternoon, even after fasting since the previous night. Many become anxious, blaming their dinner or thinking their medication is failing. But the truth is, even with a flawless diet and correct dosage, if the dawn phenomenon is not managed, sugar will still climb. Dangerously, many who misunderstand the cause make the wrong counter moves. They skip breakfast, wrongly believing that an empty stomach prevents sugar from rising. Yet, prolonged starvation signals the liver to release more sugar to conserve energy. The result is a further increase in blood sugar. Others might change their medication or increase the dosage without control, leading to other serious health risks. The key insight is that the dawn phenomenon is not a disease but a natural bodily reaction. The issue is that diabetics lack the insulin needed to process the sugar the liver releases. Therefore, the solution is not fasting or changing medication, but supporting the liver and body to regulate more effectively in the period immediately after waking. The dawn phenomenon doesn't cause pain or obvious symptoms, but it causes blood sugar to fluctuate silently every morning. If unchecked, it leads to all-day instability, fatigue, endocrine disruption, and a diminished quality of life. Crucially, it leaves the patient feeling constantly suspicious, anxious, and helpless against their own body. The good news is that the dawn phenomenon is fully controllable with very simple adjustments. No need for new drugs or expensive supplements, just 3 small, correct actions every morning are enough to calm the liver, activate the muscles, and stabilize hormones. Let's move to the first habit. It's gentle, yet incredibly important. Habit 1. Drink a glass of warm water upon waking. Don't dismiss this. Just one glass of water, administered correctly, can be the initial, natural, and sustainable step to lowering your blood sugar. After a long sleep, the body is starting up, but the internal organs are slow. Blood tends to be thicker due to dehydration. The sympathetic nervous system is unstable, and the liver continues to release glucose due to biological momentum. Without intervention, blood sugar will continue its silent, upward drift. This is where a glass of warm water acts as a gentle switch, naturally rousing the body. Water is not a drug or a magic potion, but at this crucial moment after sleep, it creates a powerful chain of positive effects for the entire metabolic system. First, water thins the blood. Less concentrated blood means the sugar is more evenly distributed, reducing strain on the heart and smaller blood vessels. Second, water stimulates the liver to operate more cautiously. The new fluid intake signals the liver that it's time to adjust the pace of glucose production. This is especially vital for diabetics, whose livers tend to overproduce sugar in the early morning. Beyond that, water also calms the sympathetic nervous system, which is easily overstimulated in the morning, particularly in older adults or those with chronic diseases. A stressed nervous system prompts the body to release cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that rapidly elevate blood sugar. A glass of warm water helps neutralize this reaction, promoting stable blood sugar. Many people wait until breakfast to drink water, or take it immediately after medication. In fact, the optimal time is immediately after you open your eyes and before you do anything else. This is when the body needs it most, and when the water is most potent in soothing the liver, smoothing the bloodstream, and gently waking the entire internal system. In terms of quantity, you don't need much, about 200 to 300 milliliters is sufficient. The water should be clean, boiled, and cooled to a warm temperature, not scalding, not cold, just gently warm like body temperature. The goal is not thirst quenching but awakening and regulation. To enhance the effect, you can add a thin slice of ginger root or a few drops of fresh lemon juice. Ginger aids circulation, and lemon provides natural citric acid to support digestion and sugar metabolism. However, those with a history of stomach issues should use plain warm water only to avoid irritation. Absolutely do not add sugar, honey, milk, or coffee. The purpose here is regulation, not energy input. Adding stimulating or caloric ingredients will mislead the body into thinking it's time for nutrition, leading to an inappropriate insulin response. The drinking method is also important, don't gulp it down. Sip it in small amounts, breathing gently as you drink to avoid pressuring the stomach. Combine this with a few cycles of deep breathing to ensure your body truly wakes up, rather than startling it, which can cause blood pressure swings. Some people don't notice a difference after a few days. That's normal. Water's effect is not immediate but comes from doing the right thing, consistently, every single day. Like watering a plant, it's the steady maintenance that ensures healthy roots. For diabetics, a drop of 10 blood sugar units each morning is a major achievement. If you maintain this warm water habit correctly and consistently for 3 consecutive weeks, you will feel a clear change. You'll feel lighter, less morning sluggishness, less dry mouth, a clearer mind, and crucially, more stable blood sugar without needing to increase your medication. This is not mere theory, it is clinical experience proven in hundreds of patients I have personally guided. Some saw their morning blood sugar drop from 9.4 millimoles per liter, 170 milligrams per deciliter, to 7.2 millimoles per liter, 130 milligrams per deciliter, in just 3 weeks of drinking warm water, with no changes to their drugs or diet. A glass of warm water is inexpensive, requires no prescription, and yet, when done correctly and consistently, it can be a transformative beginning to a gentle and sustainable diabetes management journey. Next, I will share the second habit. Habit 2, gentle morning movement for 5 to 10 minutes. Just like the warm water, this habit seems simple but is the fastest, most natural way for the body to consume excess blood sugar. No medicine, no fatigue, no great effort. Immediately after finishing your warm water, the next essential step for diabetics is gentle physical activity. You don't need to visit a park, engage in intense fitness, or require special equipment. Just dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to moving lightly indoors, shoulder rolls, slow walking, or gentle joint rotations. The results will surprise many. The reason for early morning movement isn't just general health, it's tightly linked to how the body consumes glucose, a critical element in blood sugar control. During sleep, the body is almost completely still. All muscles rest, and the demand for sugar is near zero. Meanwhile, the liver is quietly releasing sugar into the blood to prepare energy for the day. Consequently, a diabetic patient wakes up with a high glucose reserve in their blood that hasn't been used. If the patient remains inactive, sitting or lying down, or only moves slightly before breakfast, that sugar will remain suspended in the bloodstream. The sugar is not consumed by the muscles or metabolized, causing the blood sugar reading to stay high. Prolonged daily occurrence leads to chronic fatigue, mental stagnation, and difficulty controlling the disease. Conversely, the moment the body starts to move gently, the muscles immediately activate their sugar-consuming mechanism. This is a powerful process that is highly effective and doesn't depend on insulin. Muscles use glucose as fuel for activity. When exercising, muscle cells open up to take in glucose for energy. This process not only reduces the excess sugar in the blood but also improves blood flow, eases the load on the cardiovascular system, and noticeably brightens the mood. For older adults especially, gentle morning movement helps reduce the risk of blood clot-related incidents, strengthens joints and muscles, and alleviates the stiffness that follows a long night of rest. Many patients who used to feel slight dizziness in the morning no longer experience this after consistently adopting this movement routine. So, what is the right way to move? The first rule is gentle and consistent. No need for heavy workouts, sweating, or straining. The goal is not physical training but to harmoniously awaken the entire metabolic system. Start by stretching while still in bed. Then, stand up and walk a few laps around your room or yard, combining it with deep breathing, rotating your wrists, ankles, back, shoulders, and knees. Each movement only needs 5 to 10 repetitions, slow and unhurried. If possible, listen to some soft music. Music helps relax the nervous system, reducing stress and thus limiting blood sugar-raising hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Diabetics are often sensitive to stress, and even mild stress can raise sugar. Therefore, moving in a relaxed state is essential. One more crucial note: do not move immediately upon waking. Drink your warm water first, sit quietly for a few minutes, and then start moving. This prevents sudden blood pressure changes and avoids dizziness, especially in older adults with low blood pressure or cerebral anemia. The ideal duration for morning movement is 5 to 10 minutes. Less is often insufficient to fully activate the muscle's sugar-consuming process. More can cause fatigue if the body is not yet fit. If you are accustomed to it, you can extend it to 15 minutes, but increase slowly, without haste. The space doesn't need to be elaborate. A small area indoors, a hallway, a balcony, or the immediate area around your house is enough. Avoid exercising outdoors if the weather is cold or too hot, and do not exercise on a completely empty or very full stomach. The most important thing is consistency. The body is a machine. If you start it correctly every morning, it will run smoothly all day. If you skip this startup step, the machine will sputter, lag, and improperly consume energy. This is precisely why some people, despite adequate sleep and careful eating, still feel tired, unfocused, and sluggish. Their body hasn't been properly awakened by movement. Gentle morning movement is not just a good habit for diabetics, it is a natural support method to stabilize blood sugar without increasing medication. It gives the pancreas a rest, helps the liver slow its sugar release, thins the blood, and sharpens the mind. After the warm water and gentle movement, the next morning step is even more important: breakfast. A timely, adequate, and moderate breakfast is the foundation for stable blood sugar throughout the day. I will now share the third habit, which many patients are still getting wrong. Habit 3: eat a balanced breakfast at the right time. A very common error among diabetics, particularly older adults, is skipping breakfast out of fear of spiking their blood sugar. Many believe that if they don't eat, their sugar won't rise. While this sounds plausible, in reality, it is one of the main reasons for severe morning blood sugar dysregulation. After a long night without food, the body has depleted nearly all its energy reserves. If no nutrition is provided, the liver interprets this as a state of starvation. To maintain vital functions for the brain, heart, and lungs, the liver automatically releases glucose into the blood. This is a completely natural survival response. But for a diabetic, there isn't enough insulin to manage this extra glucose. The consequence is a surge in blood sugar without eating anything. Moreover, allowing the body to be starved for too long disrupts the endocrine system. The pancreas is forced to overwork to secrete insulin in an insulin-resistant environment, gradually leading to functional decline. Patients will feel exhausted, lack energy, dizzy, or even have tremors mid-morning. Most dangerously, the body begins to form a false memory, believing every morning is an energy crisis and thus forming a reflex to release even more sugar. A dangerous, self-perpetuating cycle is established. Eating the right breakfast does not raise blood sugar. What raises blood sugar is eating at the wrong time, eating the wrong food, or eating nothing at all. A light but balanced breakfast helps stabilize hormones, activates the pancreas, reduces the liver's glucose output, and creates a stable pace for the entire day. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day for everyone, but for diabetics, how you eat breakfast needs special attention. Don't overeat, but absolutely do not skip the meal. You don't need elaborate food, but it must contain 3 key elements: sufficient protein, high fiber, and low amounts of fast-absorbing carbohydrates. Here are some suitable breakfast suggestions: a portion of boiled vegetables, e.g., sweet potato greens, water spinach, or Chinese mustard, 1 boiled egg or 2 slices of steamed tofu, UPH, 1 to 2 tablespoons of brown rice or unsweetened oatmeal, and a glass of water or herbal tea like Vi leaf tea, Cleistocalyx operculatus, a traditional Vietnamese herb that aids digestion and may help stabilize blood sugar, or pandan leaf tea, La Da. This breakfast provides adequate energy, slows sugar absorption, and supplements plant-based protein and fiber. Absolutely avoid items like white bread, thin white rice porridge, vermicelli, bun, pho, ph, sticky rice, soy NP, and sugary milk. These contain fast-absorbing carbohydrates or simple sugars that cause a rapid blood sugar spike, followed by a quick crash, leaving the patient hungry and tired mid-morning. Some even experience mild hypoglycemia, causing dizziness and cold extremities. Besides the food, the timing of breakfast is equally important. You should eat within 30 to 45 minutes of waking up. Do not wait until 9 or 10 a.m. The reason is that after 1 hour of waking, if no food is introduced, the liver will intensify sugar release to cope with the perceived energy shortage. When you finally eat, your blood sugar will fluctuate more violently and be harder to control. Eating breakfast on time also helps reset the body's biological clock. The digestive system and insulin secretion will operate more rhythmically, and your mood will be more stable. The patient is less irritable, less anxious, and clearer-headed. This is crucial because psychological stress is another silent cause of elevated blood sugar. A small tip: after breakfast, rest gently for 10 to 15 minutes before starting your day's activities. Do not rush into heavy work immediately after eating, nor should you drink strong coffee or tea right away. These stimulants can raise your heart rate, cause palpitations, and interfere with nutrient and blood sugar absorption. Breakfast is a small meal but plays the role of the roots of a tree. If the root is strong, the tree stands firm. If the root is weak, green leaves are only temporary. Many diabetics focus too much on medication and overlook the role of breakfast. That is a huge error. Medication is a support tool, but breakfast is the most vital biological foundation for all-day blood sugar regulation. Changing your breakfast isn't difficult. By simply understanding it correctly, doing it right, and maintaining consistency, your body will self-regulate. After 3 weeks to a month, you will feel the change: better sleep, no more midday fatigue, more stable blood sugar readings, and most importantly, effective disease control without needing to increase medication doses. Let's now address the dangerous, self-defeating cycle that many diabetics fall into. The more they fear, the more they restrict, and the more they increase their medication, the harder the disease becomes to manage. This is the vicious cycle of misunderstanding and misaction. If they don't stop at the right moment, patients will only grow more exhausted, confused, and desperate. In my years of practice, the most disheartening sight is not a patient becoming sicker, but seeing them silently enter this spiral. The more intense the fear, the tighter the diet restrictions, the harsher the self-discipline, the more arbitrary the medication increases, and the more difficult the disease becomes to control. It's a closed, quiet loop that countless diabetics are trapped in, yet no one shows them the exit. It always begins with a very real fear, seeing high sugar on a test result despite maximum effort. The patient is anxious, unsure where they failed. Without an answer, they self-diagnose. Some blame a slightly larger lunch, others a late dinner, or a lack of walking the day before. The common thread is that they impose greater restrictions. Some skip breakfast entirely. Some eliminate all rice, eating only vegetables and water. Some double their medication without consulting their doctor. Others avoid fruit, fatty fish, or eggs. The body is then like a machine running low on fuel, oil, lubrication, and instruction. The consequence is fatigue, listlessness, insomnia, headaches, and poor digestion. But sadly, the blood sugar remains unstable. Why? Because the body doesn't operate on fear, it operates on biological laws. When the patient is stressed, the adrenal glands release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which raise blood sugar faster than a bowl of white rice. Simultaneously, prolonged fasting causes the liver to release glucose to counter the starvation. Arbitrarily increasing medication can cause a rebound effect, leading to dangerously low blood sugar midday. Thus, instead of solving the problem, the patient inadvertently pushes themselves deeper into metabolic disorder. A notable trait of long-term patients is prolonged anxiety. They worry about everything they eat and hesitate before every action. Each sugar test is a moment of trembling anticipation. Some even hide their results from family for fear of blame. This fear simmers daily, silently corroding their spirit, making treatment much harder. In guiding patients, I found many desire only one thing: stable blood sugar. They don't need delicious food, joy, or a comfortable life, they just need the number on the meter to be stable. But they fail to realize that this very narrow focus is the biggest obstacle. Stable blood sugar comes not from forbidding everything, but from understanding and correct action. Without understanding the disease's root, all efforts are just fumbling in the dark. I once asked a patient, if you drink only plain water and eat raw vegetables year after year, and your sugar is still high, do you feel tired? She was silent for a long time before replying, I feel like I'm being punished, but I don't know what my crime is. That response haunted me, because many patients truly live this way. They self-punish with extreme diets, rigid routines, and chronic stress, yet still don't achieve their goal. It's not due to laziness or lack of discipline, but because they set off in the wrong direction from the beginning. So, how do you escape this cycle? The answer is clear: return to controlling the very start of each day. Not extreme restriction, not constant drug escalation, but correcting the 3 morning habits: warm water to soothe the liver, gentle movement to encourage natural sugar consumption, and timely breakfast to stabilize hormones. These 3 actions not only make blood sugar more stable but also improve mood, reduce stress, enhance sleep, and raise quality of life. Diabetics do not need to live in fear. They need a clear, actionable path that suits their body. If you have ever felt lost, despairing, or believed there was no option but to increase your pills, I confirm today that there is a way out. And that way is right there, in your kitchen, in the first glass of water, in the light steps you take, and in a simple but complete breakfast. Most importantly, it's in how you look at yourself with correct knowledge, not self-reproach or self-punishment. We have covered a journey that, though short, contains many essential points. The 3 small morning habits, warm water, gentle movement, and timely breakfast, may seem insignificant, but they are the keys that can help diabetics escape the fatigue, disorder, and confusion of erratic blood sugar. No new drugs, no complicated formulas, no great sacrifices are needed. Just 3 simple acts, done correctly and consistently every morning. A glass of warm water wakes the liver, thins the blood, and regulates hormones. A few minutes of gentle movement relieves pressure, helping muscles consume accumulated excess sugar in the blood. A nutritious breakfast on time helps the body maintain a stable biological rhythm and prevents the liver from secreting sugar abnormally. If these three things are maintained consistently, they will not only keep blood sugar within a safe range but also help the patient live lighter, healthier, and more confident in managing their condition. Many believe that significant health change requires a large, drastic effort. But the truth is that the most sustainable changes always begin with small actions, repeated with persistence. Like a seed, it doesn't need a great storm. It just needs a little consistent sunshine and clean water daily to grow into a sturdy tree. Health is the same. You don't need to live miserably, you just need to understand what your body needs and do the right thing every morning. I've seen many patients move from despair to clarity simply by changing how they start their day. They stop taking their medication with dread. They stop eating breakfast as a forced duty. They stop living with fatigue and self-doubt. Instead, there is proactiveness, calm, and self-understanding. And when the patient truly understands the cause, they stop treating the illness in the dark. They become the drivers of their own health journey. If you are still listening, I trust that you genuinely desire change. Not because someone is forcing you or because of a tempting advertisement, but because you are exhausted from the feeling of helplessness. It is time for a clearer, easier, and more effective path. If that is true, I ask you one last time, start tomorrow morning, don't wait. Have a glass of warm water ready on your counter. Spend a few minutes walking, rolling your shoulders, and breathing. Prepare a simple but balanced breakfast. And if you can, jot down your feelings after each day. After 3 days, you will feel a little lighter. After 7 days, your sleep will be deeper. After 10 days, your sugar readings will be more stable. After 30 days, perhaps you won't need to increase your medication dose again. The important thing is not how fast the effect comes, but that your body has begun to relearn how to self-regulate, independent of external coercion. If you are on this journey, please leave a comment below. Even one line is enough, I started this morning, or I tried it and feel lighter. These comments are more than just sharing, they are a source of motivation for others who are struggling to find their way. Perhaps someone will read your words and gain the belief to start their own journey. Finally, I want to leave you with a saying I remind myself of every morning: you don't need to do anything grand to change your life. Just start one small, correct thing, repeat it daily, and never give up. The 3 morning habits, warm water, gentle movement, timely breakfast, are the first 3 steps on a path to a healthier, more proactive, and more peaceful life for all people with diabetes. Thank you for listening to the end. I wish that your every morning will no longer be a fearful beginning, but a new transition that is lighter, healthier, and full of hope.